The Foreign Affairs Minister trying her level best to tell us that really nothing happened today. It was a setting of the table, a starting point. There was nothing to report, and if there was anything to report, it's a private meeting, so she wouldn't say anything anyway. She did say, interestingly enough, that they were going to take a Sunny Ways position on this. She didn't want to comment on U.S. trade czar Robert Lighthizer, whose opening bluster was kind of negative about the whole NAFTA free trade deal. And the one thing that was kind of interesting that I thought was first raised by the Reuters correspondent there was the idea that Donald Trump has abandoned his business council today as the chief executives continue to resign in protest over his comments on the protests. One of the questions I want to bring back are MPs. They're scattered around. Randy, I'm going to come back to you in Toronto on this. Randy Hoback, the Conservative MP. Is there any concern that Donald Trump's division with the business community, the abandoning of the Business Council, could be detrimental to these talks in any way, shape, or form?
You know, I don't think so. When you look at how the U.S. system's set up, he's got the mandate from Congress to go ahead and negotiate, but it still will go back to Congress for ratification. And the business community is very well plugged into Congress and is still plugged into the White House. So I wouldn't overreact in what we've heard today. Again, these negotiations are going to take some time. All they've done today is basically set the table, so we have to let that happen and then see where things go.
All right, bringing you back, Tracy, as well. Business is having a bit of a problem with Donald Trump. You see that more as a hiccup rather than an obstacle in any way for these trade talks going forward?
I think it's very serious. I think what we see happening in the U.S. is very serious, and I join the NDP, certainly stands strongly and categorically denounces the white nationalism that we saw rise in the U.S. over the weekend. You know, today is the funeral of Heather Hiller. This is extremely sad for all of us watching what's happening there. So, you know, to ignore what's happening inside of the country, I think is naive, and business is certainly responding to what the president has done or not done around this very serious and great loss for the country. Something that I heard there, the ministers talking about, was a lot about the U.S. and about the deficit and the trade relationship that we have. Not a lot about the trade relationship that we have with Mexico.
That's true.
There really wasn't
Very
a conversation about that, you know, and so it wasn't part of her remarks, it wasn't a focus, and we can't, in this negotiation, only focus on our relationship with the U.S. It has to be about the entirety of the three countries. And third thing that I have to say, Don, is that we continue to hear this word progressive being thrown around. You know, the minister mentioned it several times throughout her speech, and certainly we've heard it, you know, many times in the House and this week as well around NAFTA. But progressive can't be just a word that's thrown around. It has to actually be backed up with actions that are progressive, and this will be the true test in this negotiation, is whether or not they're able to come forward with progressive, enforceable, entrenched into the agreement actionables.
Randy, I want to bring you, Andrew Leslie, on this one. It seems to me that she made a lot of progress with the Secretary of State, Rex Tillerson, a long list of agenda items she brought up, but not much at the table. I guess that's not surprising. As you've pointed out, this is probably not even going to be done this year.
Well, it's day one of a 4 or 5 day cycle, and there's going to be 7 rounds. There's 28 negotiating tables, so this is a very complex endeavor. Lots of work still to be done. Bottom line, Canada, the U.S., and Mexico, we build stuff together. Together under NAFTA, we've created millions of jobs, incredible increases in national wealth. And we want to make sure that we defend our middle class, we defend the aspirations of all those industries in Canada, but we also want to have a win-win-win. So let me quote the Vice President of the United States. Rhode Island, a little while ago, he said, look, we want a win-win-win as a result of the NAFTA negotiations. So there's going to be more excitement. There's going to be lots of excitement. There'll be moments of drama for sure. So we'll stay calm, we'll carry on, and we'll get it done.
It's a trade deal. All right, long way to go. Day one of a long process. Thank you to my MPs from the 3 parties coming onto the show.